There's no entry signals with this. This is just purely learning how to set up an entry order, a profit target, and actually no, hold on, an entry order and a unique type of stop loss. All right, so the entry order is going to be placed 4 ticks. So if we're going to take a long trade, the entry order is going to be placed 4 ticks above the candle close, although this image says above the candle high. So, all right, we'll use the candle high. 4 ticks above the candle high of, whenever we press the go long or go short button. So that would make it a stop entry order. All right. So, so that's the entry order. And then if that entry order gets filled, then we want to place the stop loss. So there's actually no profit target with this. It's just going to be a trailing stop loss. So when the entry order is filled, we have a position on. The stop loss initially starts off at the EMA 13. So this moving average here is an EMA 13. And so now on the second bar after the entry is filled and we have a stop loss on, then we want to move that stop loss up to the high of the bar minus 3 ticks. So let's say the entry order is filled on the second green bar right here, right? This fills it. So in other words, so we press the go long button on the first green bar, and then the second green bar fills the entry order. And then when we get to the second bar after the order's filled, when the entry is filled, our stop loss, starts at the EMA 13. And then we wait for 2 bars to go by. And now our stop loss starts trailing. So we're on this second bar. And so the stop loss moves from the EMA up to the previous bar high minus 3 ticks. So it's going to be 3 ticks below that bar's high there. And so what makes this kind of possible on a range bar is you can see that, we're using, these are actually Renko bars. Okay. Yeah, so this is a Renko bar system, or a hybrid Renko bar system. All right, so there we go. So let's get my chart ready. So let me turn this off again. And let me go into the strategies window here. And so for this type of question here, I'm going to run BlackBird with the calculate on bar close. Yeah, let me get rid of Bloodhound here. So I'm going to clear out the previous topic there. Clear that out. Click OK. And then reload my chart again so I can clear out the Bloodhound off the chart. All right, I think we're ready to go here. So let's open up BlackBird's interface and start building here. All right, so the entry order is going to be a stop entry. And let's go into the initial placement. And for a long trade, we're going to use the high price of the bar. And you can see automatically for a short trade, BlackBird switches to a low, the low price of the bar automatically for us. And so we're going to take the high and then add 4 ticks above that. So we're going to knock the offset down to 4 ticks. There we go. So there's our high price plus 4 ticks for a long trade, or the low price minus 4 ticks for a short trade. So that's our entry order. Now there's no stop loss here. I'm sorry, no profit target. But the stop loss, let's see, how should we do this? Yeah, this is a pretty unique stop loss, so we'll just go with a custom. We'll start with a blank. Basically, the custom is a blank stop loss. So let's open this up, go to the initial placement. So we want the stop loss to start on the EMA, right? So that would be an indicator value. So, all right. So in the indicator, let's go and select the EMA. There's our EMA, and we're going to knock this down one to make it a 13 period, like so. And if we wanted to, we could add a tick above the EMA or add a tick below the EMA. You can add some kind of an offset if you wanted, but we'll leave it at 0, no offset. There we go. All right, so that's our initial location there is on the EMA 13. Now, for the trailing rolls, let's create some custom trailing rolls here. And let's add a trailing roll. All right, so we're going to be trailing the high of the bar for a long trade or the low for a short trade. Minus 3 ticks. All right, so obviously it's going to be the prior bar's high or low. Right, so BlackBird is, I did change BlackBird so that it's running with calculate on bar close. Right, so what that means is that BlackBird does not see the high. Or, actually, yeah. So, David, it kind of depends on the bar price that you want to use for the entry order. So, if you want your entry order to use, the bar prices that are forming, the bar prices that are forming, then we'll have to switch BlackBird back over to using calculate on price change. But if your entry order is supposed to use the closed bars, high price or low price, then we can keep BlackBird set to on bar close. So it all depends on the entry order. So let's see here, on bar close. All right, yeah, so David wants to use the closed bar data here. All right, so our entry order is going to be from the closed bar's high. All right, so back to our stop loss here. Okay, so before the trailing kicks in, we want at least 2 bars to go by. So our trigger to activate the trailing is to wait for 2 bars to go by. Right? So we're going to use a delay trigger and set it to 2 bars. Right? So wait for 2 bars, or put in a 2-bar delay. And then after that, then this trailing roll gets activated, and then we can start trailing the bar high after that. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think this is the last step to do here. So we're going to go into the action and modify the move to price, right? So we're going to modify that from the last price, and instead we're going to use the bar high, of the previous bar here. Yeah, so we probably, I think what David wants is a look back period of 2. So we're going to look back 2 bars. So it could only be 1 bar back, but we'll be conservative and use 2 bars back to get the high price 2 bars back to be conservative. So if you wanted to be aggressive with your stop loss, and you could leave the look back period to 1, right? But I'll leave it on 2 for now just to test this out. And then from the bar high of 2 bars back, we're gonna set the stop loss 3 ticks below the bar high, like so. All right, and then the repeat is, we'll set that to indefinitely. Yep, so that way the stop loss just keeps trailing up if price keeps marching up. So, all right, I think that does it. The only thing we might need to do is just adjust the number of bars to get it perfect there. So, yeah, well, where we're at right now, I think I can just go long, and I don't see my orders. What happened here? All right, I do have a stop order there. But I'm not seeing the order flags. Not sure what happened here. Let's take a look at the log file. Nothing in the log file. Let me try this again. Yeah, let me close that out. There. And what the heck? Let me reload my chart just in case. Okay. So Ninja did not like something, so let me pull up the strategies here and re-enable this, and the calculate is on bar close still. Good. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so there is our stop entry, 3 ticks above the closed bar high. Right. So there we go. Using that bar high, 3 ticks above it. So let me fill that order, and we'll see the stop loss is going to get placed down here with the EMA 13. There we go. All right, there's our stop loss down there. So let me just move the market up. There we go. So as soon as the second bar opened, so the entry bar is bar number 1, and then we have bar number 2, right? So when bar number 2 closed, our stop loss moved up, and I had set pull this back before it goes too far. So I had set this to, I set the look back to 2 bars back. So the stop loss is using this bar, that bar high. So we can see it's right 3 ticks off of that bar high. So if you do want it to be on the most recent bar that has closed, so if we want to use that bar instead where the green dot is, then let's open up our stop loss here, right? Go into the actions, and that's what this look back period is for, right here, right? So we can knock that look back period down to 1, right? And that'll use the most recent bar high instead of 2 bars back, right? So that'll be a little more aggressive here. So really, all it comes down to getting this, operating exactly the way you want it, David. It's just a matter of, figuring out exactly, what look back period you want to use. So, right, which bar high, but then also on the trigger, how many bars do you want to wait? Do you want to include the bar that filled the order as bar number 1, or do you want to start counting on the next bar, on the next bar after the entry bar? So if that was the case, then you would just want to increase your bar delay by 1. You can increase that to 3 instead of 2, right? So now it's just a matter of adjusting, the number of bars, that you're looking back or counting to get all this working exactly right. So, yeah, let's reverse the trend, and we'll take a short trade. All right, there is our entry order. A couple of ticks away. Oh, and yeah, you know what? I could not. I must have changed something here. Yeah, because this stop loss, should have been placed at an invalid look. Oh, that's right. So you guys notice here how my stop loss is actually set 1 tick away from the entry order instead of at the EMA 13, right? So the EMA 13 was an invalid location for taking a short trade. But because of the default safeguards that are turned on, that stop loss turned into a 1 tick stop loss there. And so let me show you why that stop loss was converted to a 1 tick stop loss instead of going to the EMA 13. And that's because of the safeguards here, right? So now with the updated version of BlackBird, you can see the little gear icon there. So if we click on that, that's the settings icon. Down here, placement safeguards. And so we have minimum stop loss distance in ticks. So you can see that is on by default. So, right, so that's turned on by default. So who knows? You guys might find this pretty handy, for everything. So, let's say no matter what you're trading, what type of trading system or style, that you're trading, let's say you always think that, no matter how you're trading, maybe a minimum 5 tick stop loss is always required of anything that you want to trade, any way that you want to trade. So you could put in the minimum stop loss distance. You can put 5 in there, and so that way BlackBird will always set your stop loss at a minimum 5 ticks away from the entry price, right? So we can see here on the chart, right, our stop loss is 1 tick offset from the entry price. And so you could, say, okay, no matter how I have my stop loss set up, let's put in this safeguard here so that it's always a minimum of 5 ticks, something like that. So same thing with profit targets. So you can see there's a minimum profit target distance, and that's turned on to 1 tick. So let's say on the same, scenario where, your profit target should always be a minimum of a 5 tick profit target. You can go in here and increase these minimum safeguard distances. Right? So that way, no matter what kind of settings you have in here, if you make a mistake, or just, something like if you're using a moving average where, you take a trade and the moving average is on the wrong side of the market, you've got those safeguards in there just, to save you or to keep you safe, so to speak. So